Hi guys, welcome back. So we're on to our third printmaking processing video with a mount board. This time we are doing another print onto paper. The last one I did a print onto paper rather than paper onto print. This time I'm doing paper onto print rather than print onto paper. It does sound very confusing, but it's basically the process. You put in paper on top rather than putting the board on top to then absorb into the piece of paper. It's just a way to get all the textures and marks. I'm trying to find a process around it because at the moment they're coming out a bit two-dimensional where I want them to be three-dimensional. I don't know if it's a circumstance of changing the board or making a new board to make it look deeper and carving into it a bit more just to really get those textures out, or even trying to change the process of actually having to print it with a proper printing press rather than just me forcing it into the paper. I have completely saturated this piece of paper. I haven't even dampened it down to the point where it's pretty much dripping water, but I'm hoping this process will be the way forward because I do enjoy mount board printing pieces because they are a lot more three-dimensional and you can get a lot more texture out of them, not just from the ink but because of the board itself, compared to just using perspex and bits of paper, paint, like dry paint, to add in the forms and textures because it imprints into the paper more and just stays on the surface. But yeah, that's a lot of talking. You can tell it's completely saturated because it is so... It will be the wrong word. I'm just going to get rid of that hair. What the water does, it allows it to bend and crinkle. So when this begins to dry, because I have imprinted into the pieces of paper, it should actually remain crinkled. And you can see what I mean as I start to press into it. You can see the outline of the board. So I'm hoping that line is going to stay there to make it a bit more three-dimensional. What you kind of want is to be able to get a perfect, pristine image of the board when you're pressing the paper into the board, whereas if you're putting the board into the paper, it's kind of harder to know that you've pressed into every single bit. But with that process you kind of use a professional printing press, because printing this way it can go through the paper a bit more. I just think it's easier to rip the paper when you do it the other way around compared to this. It did look like there was a lot of ink still left on the board, but you'd be surprised of how much can actually transfer when you've wetted your paper, because the ink is water-based. I'm going to use my water bottle for a bit of weight. Just okay, that should be enough. Obviously you can't really tell if it's properly imprinted into the paper until it's dried, because the paper needs to dry and set, but you do get a general idea. Oh, that is so much better, like a million times better. Wait till you see this. See, that is what I was aiming for in terms of printing, because you have got this middle ground but you've got all the lovely bits of texture. I have got a bit of a leakage on this side, but that's completely fine because it's just because of the amount of water. that I've had to use on the paper to completely saturate it. So that basically is what I've been wanting for the last 2 prints, which is absolutely amazing. I'm hoping to get another print out of it. That is on the borderline of, is there going to be enough ink left on the paper? But I believe so, because this is what we have on the mount board so far. But it does remind me a lot of when you set up and look at your map. It reminds me of that. It kind of gives this old effect to it. But I'm absolutely over the moon with this print. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the process. I'll be printing away at this for ages and hopefully be able to make some more mount boards. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and don't forget to check out my channel to see more videos and also to see me on social media. If you'd like to say anything, please leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer it, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!